Welcome back to ESPR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted, as always, to be joined by world bantamweight champion Jason Moloney, who defends his title again against Yoshiki Takei on the undercard of Naoya Inoue against Lewis Neary on the 6th of May in Tokyo. Jason, good to speak to you. I know we've spoken a couple of times in the past, but it's really good to speak to you again. How are things? I know it's a boring question, but you've been in this game a little while now. How has camp been this time?
Yeah, good to speak to you again, Elliot. Appreciate your time, mate. And yes, things are really good, mate. Really good. We've had a great training camp for this fight, and super excited to be a part of this huge show, the biggest show in Japanese boxing history, in front of a packed out Tokyo Dome of 55,000 plus. So yeah, mate, it's this is what dreams are made of. This is why we work so hard to get into these positions and earn these opportunities and fight on shows like this, on this sort of platform with this sort of crowd. And yeah, I'm super excited for this opportunity. And as I said, been training the house down. Feel like this is probably the hardest I've worked for any fight in my career. I really really left no stone unturned and really dedicated myself for this one and want to make sure I get it right, put on a great performance, and I know that a good performance here sets up some big opportunities for me moving forward. So yeah, I've put in the hard work and yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting over there. I'll fly out only a few days out now from when I fly out over to Tokyo, and yeah, can't wait to get amongst it.
No, fantastic. Interested to get just kind of there's a couple of things I want to discuss, but interested to get your thoughts on fighting in Japan. I know you fought all over the place in your career, but you've not fought in Japan just yet. Just thoughts on kind of what what you're expecting the food to be like, how that's going to go down, what like the atmosphere is going to be there on the night. Yeah, just thoughts on kind of fighting in Japan as a whole, please, Jason.
Yeah, fighting in Japan is something I've actually always wanted to do, even since early days in my career. Obviously the Japanese are pretty strong in these lighter weights, and they love their boxing, and I love what they do over there. Yeah, never had the chance yet to fight in Japan. My brother Andrew fought a good Japanese opponent early in his career, and we are sort of hoping we might be able to establish ourselves a little bit over there and get some big fights over there as we build our careers and build our records up. But yeah, it just wasn't to be. And last year I had my first taste of Japan. I did a 3-week training camp over there in Osaka with Tomoki Kamita, and it was amazing. Just absolutely loved my time over there in Japan and their culture and their boxing. I guess love, or their respect for the boxers, and yeah, I had a great response from the Japanese public and fans really wanting to make the effort to come and see me and meet me and get a photo and an autograph and go out for lunch. And yeah, just an awesome time in Japan last year, and that certainly yeah, lit the fire even more for that want to fight in Japan one day. And yeah, this opportunity's come up at a great time. And as I said, the opportunity to fight on the biggest show in Japanese boxing history is yeah, is this is what dreams are made of. And can't wait to be a part of it. 4 world titles on the one show, and obviously the superstar Naoya Inoue headline in the show. So it's going to be an incredible atmosphere walking out into the Tokyo Dome with 55,000 people. And I don't know what their atmosphere is like on fight night. I don't know if they're as rowdy as the UK bunch or the Aussie bunch, but very respectful people and boxing, purists that really know what they're watching. And I'm sure they'll appreciate this fight. And yeah, I'm looking to gain a lot more Japanese fans from this performance. And unfortunately, take out one of their homegrown heroes, or one of their, I guess, potential future heroes. I know there's a bit of hype around Yoshiki, but and obviously a former world champion as a kickboxer. But yeah, I'm expecting a tough fight, but I've really put in the hard work to make sure I come out on top.
For sure, for sure. Look, obviously, big opportunity for you, and we'll all be tuning in to see how he gets on Yoshiki, Jason. Just the 8 fights. So, like, not many fighters fight for a world title in their ninth fight. 8 fights, 8 stoppages. Have you had the chance to see much of him, and do you take much into consideration, considering he's only had 8 professional fights compared to you, who's had 29?
Yeah, look, it's a hard one with that. You know, you hear he's only had 8 fights and you think he's inexperienced, but he's obviously had a lot of fights as a kickboxer and kickboxing or boxing for quite a while now. And yeah, obviously a former world champion as a kickboxer, so he's fought at a high level. But yeah, only the 8 fights as a pro, 8 wins, 8 knockouts. So he's obviously dealt with his opposition so far, but he hasn't obviously fought at this level before, and obviously has a big jump. So there's the unknown, and we're watching what he's done to his former opponents, and he's taking care of all of them with relative ease, really. But yeah, this is a big step up for him. Obviously, his team believe in him. They've obviously seen what he does in the gym, and they're happy with what they've seen. I think he's ready for a world title shot, so they obviously believe in him. But yeah, he hasn't fought at this level, and I plan on showing that. And but I believe he's, will show that he's not ready for this level yet. Um, and yeah, I've put in the work to make sure that I not only my experience, but everything that I bring to the table, that I'll be too good for him on the night. And but yeah, I've known a bit about Yoshiki. He fought a stable mate of mine, Bruno Turimo. Last year he went over and fought him in Japan, and he beat my stablemate Bruno. It wasn't a good performance from Bruno. He didn't show what he's capable of. But it's about going in there and fighting my fight, getting it right, and showing I'm a world champion, and showing that he's not ready to take this big step.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, well, yeah, we'll see how good he is on the 6th of May, I suppose. Did want to ask just a couple of other things, Jason. You've been at bantamweight quite a while now. You've been very successful at that weight. Um, is there a plan for how much longer you plan to be at that weight? Is there any a possibility you may move up in weight anytime soon? Just interested to know any discussions around that.
No, there'd be no discussions about moving up anytime soon. Obviously, being the champion and holding the belt at bantamweight, this is where we plan to stay. And obviously, first things first is beating Yoshiki Takei. But yeah, I want to become undisputed at bantamweight, and I want to stay here and have those big fights. There's plenty of big fights for me. All the unification fights are mega fights for me at bantamweight. So yeah, I don't plan on moving up anytime soon unless a big opportunity came that made sense. But yeah, as you said, I've been at bantamweight for a while. Actually had my first 13 or 14 fights at super bantamweight as a pro, but then decided that with a bit of discipline and a few little tweaks, we could probably get down to bantamweight, and I could be a real force at bantamweight, which was obviously in hindsight a great move.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm working with a great dietitian at the moment, the fight dietitian who works with some really top athletes, especially in the UFC. But yeah, we've really dialed it in, and I'm in great shape, and I'll make this weight for the foreseeable future.
No, fantastic. You mentioned going undisputed there. Obviously one of the kind of the champions at the moment is Jantu Nakatani, a former opponent of your brother. Is that because of the fight he had against your brother? Is that a fight that you really want? I know you're not looking forward past your opponent you've got in front of you in a couple of weeks, Andrew and Jason, sorry, but is that a fight that you really want against Nakatani?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely would love that fight. And all the other champions, there's history there, and
Mm.
they're great matchups. So obviously, Emmanuel Rodriguez is fighting 2 days before me. He's making his first defense over in Japan. So keen to see how that one plays out and who wins that. And would love a crack at the winner of that. As you mentioned, Junto Nakatani. Would love the opportunity to fight him in a unification fight and gain revenge over for my brother. And then obviously Takuma Inoue is fighting on the same card as me, and that's a great build up if we both win on May the 6th. To why not put together the unification between us? So, they're all great fights, and obviously fights that really interest me and fights that I'm right up for and will take in a second. So, the future's bright. I just got to make sure I go out there and win this fight against Takei, and yeah, there's some great opportunities on the horizon.
Yeah, no, fantastic, fantastic. Just covered everything pretty much there, Jason, but just did want to get your opinion on a couple of things, if that's okay. I know I think you speak to some boxers, and there are some boxers who don't actually watch a lot of boxing. But from my previous conversations with you, I know you know your boxing basically, and you're in touch with the sport. Main event, Inoue versus Neri. Is this just another stoppage win for Inoue, or can you see him becoming unstuck?
Another stoppage win for Nui, I believe, but certainly an exciting fight while it lasts. Neri's a pretty wild character who will definitely come to fight, and he will let his hands go, and he'll be swinging for the fences. So it'll make it entertaining. And look, it's boxing. Anything can happen. Of course, Neri does have power and could potentially catch Nui, but I don't see it happening. He's just too good, Anui, at the moment, and seems to be getting better. And yeah, I think this will be a super impressive performance from Anui, and he will get the stoppage win. But as I said, while it lasts, it'll be fireworks, and yeah, they'll both be letting them go, and I think it'll be a great, great fight. So once I have the second defense of my belt, I look forward to getting in the stands and watching this one live.
Yeah, of course, of course. Obviously, I'm speaking from the UK here. We are as we're talking, we're around 3 weeks away from finally the big fight between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. Keen to know where your head is at the moment, Jason. I know it's been some people find it really difficult to give a prediction. Fight's been rearranged, but I'm interested to know what's on your mind for this one.
Look, I'm probably a bit like the majority in that my opinion on this fight has changed so much. If you asked me this question 2 months ago, I'd probably give you a different answer. I've always probably felt that Fury was just too big and too good, and that Fury would win this fight. I mean, Usyk is as good as he is. I mean, the guy's a freak, but he's really, a cruiserweight, or yeah, a very small heavyweight, and then you've got a monster of a man in Fury. So I've always just felt that size would be too much, and Fury's a smart guy and knows how to use his size and box and move and tie him up, and he's just a clever, clever guy that's hard to beat. But obviously off recent form, Fury
Yeah.
didn't look great against Ngannou, and Usyk just seems to be getting better and will no doubt be right up for this fight. So yeah, this one, the more it gets closer, the more I start to lean towards Usyk, but I'll stick to my guns and say that the Gypsy King will get the win. But yeah, it's a fight that I'm really looking forward to seeing how it plays out. It's going to be very interesting what tactics they both use and who can gain control of the fight.
Yeah, for sure. Got one more, Jason. I do feel bad asking you about this one. I feel like these fights are getting harder to predict. If you don't have I understand if you don't have a prediction for this one, but if you don't, still keen to get your thoughts on it. June the 1st, we're finally seeing Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. I feel like the vast majority of people can't pick a winner for this one. Can you? Where's
Yeah.
where's your head up for this one?
Yeah, another tough one, mate. Another tough one, but I'm gonna lean towards Beterbiev. He's just a strong beast of a man. Obviously, I fought on the same show as him in my last fight, January 13 over in Quebec, which was amazing. And yeah, just to see the guy up close and in person, he's just a beast. Physical specimen. Just yeah, such a you know strong human. So Oh, look, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Obviously, Bivol's a pretty neat boxer and great at keeping his distance. So, will he be able to stay away from Beterbiev's power? We don't know. Obviously, Bivol was amazing against Canelo and had great success in that fight. But yeah, I just feel Beterbiev will know how to get to him, and yeah, he's just so strong that I'm going to back Beterbiev. Look, it'll be points or a late stoppage. I'll go with, but yeah, I'll go with Beterbiev.
Fantastic. I've just got one more final question about Beterbiev before I let you go, Jason. We put a tweet out about a week or so ago just saying, is Artur Beterbiev the most intimidating man in boxing? I just want to ask you now, you've kind of come up close to him, fought in the same as him. What's it like, I don't know, being around him and stuff? Does he really have that aura where he's super intimidating?
Yeah, he does have a bit of that aura. We're doing our fighter photo shoots before the day before our fights over in Quebec, and yeah, I took the opportunity to grab a photo with him and Mikey Williams, the top ranked photographer, best photographer in the world, took a photo of the two of us, and I'm naturally smiling in a photo, and when I got the photo of us and looked at it, he's just stone cold, just not 1 ounce of a smile on his face at all. He's just so dry and yeah, he's a mean dude. So yeah, I'd go with that. That he's pretty intimidating, and yeah, certainly when I met him anyway, he was in fight mode and probably not the most
Yeah,
welcoming guy, but look, he got the photo. He was a nice bloke and all, but yeah, he's pretty intimidating. Him and Mike Tyson, the two people I've met that really had this look in their eye that yeah, you wouldn't want to say a wrong word around either of them.
for sure. All right. I appreciate the insight, Jason. I've always wondered what it would be like to kind of to speak to him basically. And you're right, you definitely
Yeah,
kind of want to be careful with what you say. Um,
yeah.
Jason Moloney, all the best for the 6th of May, and I will speak to you again soon. Thank you very much.
I really appreciate it, mate. Cheers for your time.